You know, a good friend of mine once said, in times of crises, someone must pick up the mantle of salvation. Well, folks, here I am. That's me. I'm that someone. What's this crisis, however? It's apparently who won the fight between the Pyro Archon Mavuika and the first-ranked Harbinger, the Captain. Now, people's biases will often influence them to side with who they already like, or throw an interesting spin onto the things, you know, they witnessed. Take, for instance, the smoke scene that ended the fights. To the untrained eye, it may look like the smoke's purpose was to allow the Captain to escape following the battle, given he was injured, thus strengthening the Mavuika one side. To a veteran Fatui Glizzy Gobbler, however, that smoke saved Mavuika because the Captain was preparing to unleash his ultimate attack that was different from all the others. I have no biases, at least not with regards to this. Archon, Harbinger, fuck them both. But implicit biases are tough to ignore, so I asked a neutral third party, my brother, to watch the fight, and you know what? We came to the conclusion that despite getting tossed for most of the fights, Mavuika ultimately won. But, yo, we started, like, frame by frame analyzing this shit, nigga. We turned into detectives there for a bit. Capitano sent this bitch sky high with this boot from hell, and then got her good again with, what is this, an iceberg? Anyway, Capitano, however, taking a knee sort of just sealed the deal. In the ring, that's a knockdown, right? So, I mean, come on, guys. And it's not like the smoke kidnapped him. It's just, you know, the smoke just sort of came and he just said, "Alright, bet I'm out." But with that said, we've far more important things to discuss, namely Mavuika's words regarding the Captain and this strange presence within him.
When we exchanged final blows, I sensed an unusual presence within him. I'll need to investigate further.
Furthermore, if this ending scene is anything to go by, it can make noise, if what Capitano is referring to here is whatever dwells within him.
You heard something from here, didn't you?
Now let me just say, I'd like to think that who the Captain is talking to here is not us, the viewer, but whoever the other voice is, and for two reasons. One, the Captain breaking the fourth wall here just makes no sense, bros. And second, the biggest reason, when Capitano first addresses the voice, the camera shot instantly swaps to his left behind the boxes, and when Capitano made this dramatic statement, what do you know, he turned his head to the left. As for who the voice is, I mean, the obvious answer is Ororon, given the two were standing side by side in the teaser trailer, and we've yet to meet or even hear of Ororon yet. I mean, at least Sitlali and xilonen were name-dropped a bunch. Ororon, it's like that nigga never even existed, bro. He got Hermisled. Never saw him, never heard his name. But with that aside, let's focus more on the Captain. It feels all but confirmed at this point that Capitano has some sort of connection to Natlan, and the biggest thing we have to go regarding this is his big speech before the fight.
The Archon of Natlan. A force to be reckoned with. The secret of the ley lines is no secret to me. Long have they been destined for ruin. And since the oath made 5 centuries ago remains unfulfilled, what use is the Gnosis in your hands?
I don't know what you mean. But it sounds like this is about more than the Tsaritsa.
In times of crisis, someone must pick up the mantle of salvation. Your plan has reached an impasse, and now it falls to me to create new rules for Natlan.
Following the fight, Mavuika would go on to state its possible personal reasons are what led the Captain to Natlan. Capitano's statement regarding the ley lines being destined for ruins is interesting, given it's a mystery what he's really referring to here. According to Mavuika herself, quote, "Unlike the other nations, Natlan never had stable and deep-rooted ley lines, so we suffered the worst of the invasion. It's due to a lack of the ley line system that the Night Kingdom acts as Natlan's ley line." So, what I find interesting then is what ley line system is the Captain referring to? It's worth pointing out, however, him stating the ley lines were destined for ruin aligns perfectly with the predicament the Night Kingdom has faced over the last 500 years.
The problems plaguing the Night Kingdom are all the more complicated because that realm is essentially functioning as Natlan's ley lines. Immediately after the war, Our calculations estimated that we would have a maximum of 500 years before the Night Kingdom was completely lost to the Abyss.
It's essentially their destiny to become overrun by the Abyss. Now, the entire leyline discussion is honestly a topic for another video, because it cannot be a coincidence that the one nation with no real leyline system is the nation we visit right after we witness the creation of the Loom of Fates, a device that can create ley lines. That's a devious Abyss Order. What are they cooking? Abyss Order. Abyss. Conria. Personal motives. Ebola. Did you guys notice something odd when Capitano was fighting Mavuika? Let me do something real quick. After he took his coat off, we got a much better look at his model, and aside from black, there's one other color present, and it's a dark blue, almost purple-esque color that's present in multiple areas throughout his suits. Now, this is strange, because none of the attacks he used had this color scheme, so what is this? This gets even more interesting when we take into account this color pattern is similar to the one Dainsleif has, especially this dark blue. It's present around his boots. Now, with that said, this dark blue is also seemingly representative of a secret elemental power on Teyvat that should never see the light of day, and it's a power from beyond. Currently, it seems as if only Dainsleif and the Abyss sibling have this power, but what if they aren't the only ones? What if the captain also has control over a power from beyond, and that's why he seemingly doesn't have a delusion nor vision, and that's why his suit is rippling with a dark blue hue? But where would the captain have even acquired a power from beyond? Could the strange presence within the captain be a power from beyond? We don't know anything about a power from beyond, but of the two characters who can seemingly use this, the common denominator is Conria. So, is the captain from Conria? I don't know. Who does Conria even have that could match an Archon in a fight? It was just a nation of lowly humans, after all.
So they became sinners, but also transcendent beings, each in possession of world-shattering power.
The sinners. Is the captain, this supposedly honorable man, actually one of the sinners? Is the captain the fighter of the sinners, Varir of Solnari Rarian? Is he one of those bastards who turn their back on the entire world? No. It wouldn't make sense for the captain to be any of the sinners for a bunch of different reasons. One, I greatly doubt Pyro would be down to work with one of the sinners who tore down his nation. Two, doubt the Tsaritsa would be down to work with the sinners. Three, doubt the sinners would join the Tsaritsa. Four, the sinners have world-shattering power. Seems like they'd be able to just stomp an Archon on that description alone. Five, Capitano has some connection to Natlan and not Conria from what we know, but who knows though? It could be he has some connection to a sinner like Skirk did. I don't know. It all seems too messy, though, but was fun to explore. But now, back to reality. Something I find very interesting about the captain is the main power he used was a sort of black and white power whose color scheme matches that of this shot in the trailer. This scene never really came to fruition in the game. We never saw this, or we haven't yet. And given all the totem poles, it's a shot of the Night Kingdom. Most notably, it's the area the nail is closest to, so it's in some elevated position. Now see, the captain's color scheme matching the Night Kingdom, an area that holds special importance to Natlan, fits much more nicely with his Natlan connection than fucking the power from beyond in Conria. But if the captain is someone who has some deep connection to the Night Kingdom, that could explain how he came to learn of its destined ruin, but is it even possible the captain hails from the Night Kingdom? The Night Kingdom isn't a physical place. It's described as a place where people go when they die. It exists between life and death, and if being from the Night Kingdom is how he came to learn of its future demise, this still doesn't explain the unfulfilled oath he brought up to the Pyro Archon. Who is the captain? What powers does he wield? Where is the captain from? What's the captain's connection to Natlan? These questions all remain blues. Clues.